Okay, the minutes, has everybody read the minutes? Any corrections? I've got a couple. Mr. Schneider misses a C and an H from his name. And we got one W too many on the first report where it says she stated that when code enforcement makes, they use a tractor to dig a big hole, but it's the wrong kind of hole. Hey, my fifth grade
I
English
missed it too,
teacher would be
yeah.
proud of me. Okay, any other corrections, additions, deletions? If not, I entertain a motion to accept the minutes as edited.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
Right? Made by Mr. Schneider and seconded by Mr. Porter. Takes care of the minutes. I have no announcements. Are there announcements from the code officers? Hearing none, we will swear in the witnesses. So everybody who's going to testify tonight needs to stand and be sworn in by the attorney, the board attorney.
Raise the right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth and the whole truth before this board on the matter of which you are going to?
I do.
So sworn, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. All right, then we could proceed on the first case, 19-006790. Mr. Lynch, you're going to present. Yes.
Code Enforcement Officer Michael Lynch. For the record, I'll be presenting four cases before you this evening. The first, as you said, was case 19-006790. This was a case of clearing without permits, no development order, and a building permit for Clark. This is a non-compliance hearing, so I'm going to be summarizing what we have heard previously and giving you the status as of today. This property is at 55 Pepper Tree Road, Santa Rosa Beach, parcel 27 South 20-3350000000260. The property owner is Palmetto Beach LLC. And if you recall, this property is situated on 393 North, about a quarter of a mile north or so of 98 Little Street off to the left called Pepper Tree. And this property is residential preservation. If you recall, this was Hector Dela Cruz's landscaping business, and he had that little yellow house. He had a shed with all sorts of landscaping materials, equipment, trucks, and this, that, and the other. So those were the violations. A quick case summary. This case was presented at February 20th. Code Enforcement Board, where the property was found in violation. Code Enforcement Board required the property to be brought into compliance in 60 days, which would have taken it to April 20th, or a daily fine of $250 would be assessed until brought into compliance. On February 21st, we recorded the final order, which was mailed to the property owner via certified mail. On March 24th, inspection showed no change or progress. On April 1st, again, there was no change in the condition. None of the tools, materials, or buildings.
April 1st or May 1st?
April 1st.
No, but you said the date to comply was 4/20.
Right. I was checking the progress because
Okay.
they had it before 20 to get that done.
Okay.
So if they got it done before, I'd file affidavit. So on 4/21 of this year, a compliance inspection showed that no change in condition. I prepared and filed an affidavit of non-compliance. On May 7th of this year, inspection showed that there was no change and there's been no application for a permit. On May 8th, I prepared and sent a new notice of hearing for non-compliance via certified mail with return receipt. On May 22nd, I hearing non-compliance, unsigned, and showing refused as far as delivery. On June 3rd, I posted the notice of hearing on the property gate and at the South Fulton Annex in the public notice box and filed an affidavit of service. On June 16th, I inspected the property and noted that their cleanup has been finally begun, and there was a large metal building that was situated at the back of this property, but also on the front of the large 10-acre parcel, which we'll be hearing next. On June 18th, the inspection conducted prior to this notice of non-compliance code enforcement board hearing shows that the office building and shed have been removed as well as most of the landscaping equipment and materials. There still was a truck and trailer this morning, and some materials that remain. But as of this date, there has been no application submitted to the planning department. This is a copy of the final order. I know it's hard to see, showing the date, the $250 a day. The affidavit of non-compliance that I filed, and then the mailing of the notice of hearing. This is the return notice. This is the posting at the property and at the South Fulton Annex. This is the affidavit of service that I filed. And then as of today's date, you'll note that the large metal building is no longer there. The little yellow building that was being used as the office, the shed that had all the landscape materials have been removed. And so all we have now is the truck, the trailer, and then on the picture to the right, the conduit. Oh, there, off to the right. In order to bring this property into compliance, we need one of two things. We either need a restoration plan completed, or we need a building. This is residential preservation, so we don't really have any other options. What I would ask is please find that this property remains in violation, and I'd ask that you find that proper notice of this hearing was given to the respondent. A fine accrued $14,750 between April 20th and June 18th, this date, and is being abated by the Code Enforcement Board due to the COVID local state of emergency. Once the state of emergency is lifted by the Board of County Commissioners, the fine will automatically be reinstated at $250 per day until the property is brought into compliance. The way things are now, we're not assessing fines, as we had discussed last week. So right now, there's a net zero balance for this. All we're asking you to do is find that the property is still in violation, and that whenever that state of emergency is lifted, if the property is not brought into compliance by that date, a $250 a day fine will. At this time, I'd ask if you accept my testimony and presentation.
I will accept it into evidence. So, anybody have questions for Officer Lynch? Okay, then who's going to speak on behalf of?
I was here 40 guys. All that process. For this particular lot, moment, the building plans are completed. Stormwater plan for these residential lots. Master with have those Sundays building. That should be taken care of. I would.
Okay. Well, we need to act on this one first, so I'll entertain a conversation, or I'll close the public part of the hearing. And anybody have anything they'd like to say or make a motion?
The other public that needed to speak.
Okay, anybody else want to speak on the matter? We gave him the shot.
You close?
Yes.
I recommend we accept the officer's recommendation.
I second that.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? The motion carries. So let's move on then to 19-006-779er.
Good to go.
Okay, Board, again, this is case 19-006779. The charges were clearing without permits and no development order. This involves Lot 11, Santa Rosa Plantation, again, north on Highway 393 in Santa Rosa Beach, parcel 272 South 2033210 0000110, and again, owned by Palmetto Beach LLC. Next slide. This parcel is approximately 10 acres and is due south of the last property that we just looked at. 393 is there to the east side of the parcel. Next slide. And this was the condition that we had before, vegetation being stored. There was mounds of dirt, essentially about, I think, 1 1/3 acres had been cleared of this 10 acres. Next slide. Quick case summary. This case was presented at the February 20th, 2000 Code Enforcement Board where the property was found in violation. The Code Enforcement Board required the property be brought into compliance within 90 days, which is May 20th of this year, or a fine of $250 would be assessed until brought into compliance. On February 21st, the recorded final order was mailed to the property owner via certified mail. On April 1st of this year, an inspection showed no change or progress and no plans have been submitted. On May 7th of this year, there was no change in the condition and no progress in the application process. On May 27th, another inspection showed that there was no change in condition and also no application has been received at that point. On June 2nd of this year, I prepared and sent a notice of hearing, notice of non-compliance via certified mail with return receipt. Next slide. On June 9th, I received the return notice of hearing non-compliance unsigned. On June 16th, an inspection showed that the large metal building had been removed. And on today's date, inspection showed that some materials remain on the property and no restoration has been done. The property owner has submitted a less than minor application today to the planning department to do a restoration of the cleared vegetation. Next slide. This is a copy of the final order showing the date, the deadline date, and the $250 a day fine. Next slide. This is the affidavit of noncompliance that I filed. This is the notice of hearing for noncompliance and the mailing. Next slide. This is the posting at the South Walton Annex and on the property done on June 3rd. Next slide. This is the affidavit of service that I posted or filed subsequent to the postings. Next slide. And this is the returned notice of hearing for the noncompliance. Next slide. These were the conditions as of about 6:45 this morning. You can see that the metal building is no longer there. There are some materials still there, but there doesn't appear to be any restoration as of yet. Next slide. What I would ask is that you please find that this property is still in violation. Please find that proper notice of the hearing was given to the respondent. And as before, a fine has accrued of $7,250 between May 20th of this year and today's date, and is being abated by the Code Enforcement Board due to the COVID local state of emergency. Once the state of emergency is lifted by the Board of County Commissioners, this fine will automatically be reinstated at $250 per day until the property is brought into compliance. At this time, I'd ask that you accept my testimony and presentation into the record.
I accept your testimony and presentation into evidence. Any questions?
$7,000 you're talking about, is that, you say it's gonna come back when this is over?
No, sir. That's what would have accrued. I just wanted it on the record that that there was a fine, a substantial fine that had accrued, but given the COVID crisis, the county is, yes, sir. So
And
they
as-
are at a net zero at this point, and if they can get their restoration plan submitted, approved, and do the plantings before this state of emergency is lifted, then there will be no fine.
And do we have any idea when that might be?
No, sir, I don't think. I think we're relying on the state to make its determination.
We lived in Mossy Head about 3 months.
Okay, any more questions for Officer Lynch? Mr. Tatum, I guess it's your turn.
Stephen Tatum again. Again, same basic excuse. It was just lots of bad events all at once happened here, but a little bit more of a defense on this one. And I'm definitely not blaming anyone, but the engineer for the project, he went out, he got his restoration, found someone to do a restoration plan, had it done immediately after the code enforcement hearing last time. And once it was completed, he emailed it to Aaron Craker rather than submitting it through the portal, not knowing that he needed to submit for a DO to have it approved. That was March 24th, which I think everybody was working from home at that point. The emails just kind of went away. Nobody ever responded to anything. I'm definitely not blaming Aaron because Aaron's been great to work with since then. But everything has been submitted. The plants have already been purchased, so I feel like it'll probably be taken care of before anything's lifted. So just wanted to provide some excuses there. Any questions?
Questions for Mr. Tatum? Any? No, sir?
Thank
Okay. Anybody else want to speak on the matter? Hearing none, we'll close the public part of the hearing. And again, gentlemen, discussion or a motion?
I move we accept Officers Lynch testimony and a recommendation as he stated.
I'll second it.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Okay,
Maybe we won't see you again.
I hope not.
Please.
All right, then we're moving on to 19-00171.
Board, this is going to be another non-compliance, so we're trying to move you along as quickly as possible. This is case 19-000171. It involved a clearing without permits and sanctions for vegetative removal. This took place at Lot 17, Block A, Shelter Cove Estates on Dolphin Court in Santa Rosa Beach. The parcel is 242 South 2142310 00A 0170. The property owner is Jimmy K. and I believe it's Me H. McGraw. Next slide. This property, boy, that didn't come out as large as I intended it. If you go north on Goldsby by the Small Mart and you go all the way up to towards the top, there's a little street, Shelter Cove, that bears off to the left, and it winds around, and then this street is off to the right, Dolphin Court. Slide, please. This was the lot that was cleared. Next slide. And a quick case summary. This case was presented at the February 20th, 2020 Code Enforcement Board where the property was found in violation. The Code Enforcement Board required property to be brought into compliance within 60 days, which would be April 20th of this year, or a daily fine of $150 would be assessed until brought into compliance. On February 21st, the recorded final order was mailed to the property owner via certified mail. On February 26th of this year, I advised the property owner by voicemail, then a phone call of the Code Enforcement Board's findings, and the property must be either restored with vegetation or be issued a permit to build a house. On March 3rd of this year, the property owner called to advise that he was working with a builder on getting the plans in order to apply for a building permit. On April 21st, a compliance inspection shows no change in the condition or application submitted. I then prepared and filed an affidavit of noncompliance. On May 5th, I received an email from Mr. Craker advising that no restoration plans had been submitted at that point. Next slide. On May 8th, I prepared and sent a new notice of hearing noncompliance via certified mail with return receipt. On May 13th, I returned a call to the property owner and left a voicemail advising that the notice of hearing for the June Code Enforcement Board was sent due to the property owner not submitting any applications for a restoration or a building plan. A later discussion with the property owner involved discussions about why nothing had been accomplished. On June 3rd, the property owner came to the planning office and met with myself and planning assistant Paula Mazan. The property owner was advised that he needed to either restore the vegetation or build a house. The property owner then worked with Ms. Mazan to apply for a building permit and was then issued a BPR 20-000999. That's through the planning office. That's a building and planning review. On June 16th, I left a voicemail for the property owner advising that a building permit issued by the building department would resolve the violation. So he gets the BPR, and once he gets through the process with the planning office, he then needs to take his documentation over to the building department. And once they issue a building permit, that will resolve this violation. On today's date, a status of the application showed that the planning department has still not approved the plans as they've just received the property owner's stormwater plan. So I believe that his application is probably complete as of today, but they have not had a chance to review that. Next slide, please. This is a copy of the final order showing the deadline and the $150 a day fine. Next slide. This is the affidavit of noncompliance that I had filed. Next slide. This is the mailing of the notice of hearing. Next slide. And I would ask that you please find that the property remains in violation. Please find that the proper notice of the hearing was given to the respondent. And as before, a fine is accrued of $8,850 between April 20th and today's date and is being abated by the Code Enforcement Board due to the COVID local state of emergency. Once the state of emergency is lifted by the Board of the County Commissioners, the fine will automatically be reinstated at $150 per day until the property is brought into compliance. We don't know, of course, when that will be, but the property owner is now making strides to work towards that building permit. And I hope that he's able to get that. At this time, I'd ask that you accept my testimony and presentation into the evidence.
I do accept it into evidence. Okay, questions of Officer Lynch about this matter? No?
I believe Mr. McGraw, the property owner, is here. Yes, sir.
Would you step up, please? And were you sworn in?
Were you here when we swore everyone in?
Okay, great. Tell us who you are.
My name is Jimmy McGraw. I
Okay.
presently reside in Crestview. As Mr. Lynch indicated, that I am working on the plan, the building permit, and everything has been submitted as of today. This all been it's been lacked due to not only this COVID-19, but I had between all this is going on with Mr. Lynch, I had a heart attack, and I had to put everything off. And I couldn't do nothing for 6-7 months, or perhaps around 8 months. And now I'm just starting to get around, making some moves and trying to get things done. Mr. Paula has been very helpful. One of the staff here, she's been very helpful to me as far as getting the permit or doing it.
Okay. Questions?
As of today, it's been submitted for review.
You've applied for the building permit
Yes,
as of today?
Yes,
Yeah.
Everything's been done.
Right.
They're reviewing it. One of your staff, I believe his name's Jason. He's gonna review it and then, yes.
I correct you, he's not our staff. We're
Oh, okay.
volunteers
One
up
of
here.
the,
Yeah, it's
county-
their
county-
staff,
county
not mine.
asso-
Yeah.
Associates, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. Does anybody have any questions for Mr. McGraw? Then I'll accept his testimony into evidence.
First of all,
Yeah.
I didn't realize I needed a permit, number one. I wasn't aware of it.
Okay,
I'll
well,
clear
now
the
you
law.
know, yeah,
I didn't know, yeah.
okay. Well, if you
Yeah, I
remain
know.
diligent and you get the permit, you're,
Yes, sir, yeah.
luckily, there's some good out of the COVID.
I understand Mr. Lynch is doing his job, and in some way, he kind of scared me, that $250 a day fine thing. Oh, yeah.
That's a very real thing that fortunately you're not going to be subjected to. Okay, thank you for your testimony. We'll close the public part of the hearing. Does anybody else want to speak on the matter? No?
I just don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
I can. Go ahead.
That's all. I just wanted to, see if you could hear me.
Oh, yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. Yeah.
He,
I can hear y'all very well. It seems like the microphone is there by the attorney, PC. And every time, there's a movement right there, it really picks up a lot of noise.
Oh, maybe we could turn that
And,
microphone off.
If the microphone were moved closer to the podium, perhaps, the audio would be a little bit better.
it's right up here.
Okay.
Is it this one?
No, that's not what they're referring to. They're referring to the speakerphone that sits right next to you, Renee.
Oh, here, okay,
So anytime you move papers around or anything, you're actually going over the speakerphone is what he's trying to tell you.
okay, sorry. I'll try to be quieter. I
Okay.
apologize.
All right.
You may want to clarify with Mr. McGraw that it's $150 a day fine, not $250.
Oh, okay. Mr. McGraw, do you understand that correction? The fine they levied against you was $150 a day, not $250. But again, because of the COVID, it's been put in abatement. So if you get it together in a hurry before they remove the state of emergency, which doesn't look like it's going to happen today, you're in good shape, so,
We still have to declare it non-compliance, though, wouldn't we, for today?
yeah. Okay, so I'll listen to that motion.
I'll recommend we accept the officer's recommendation.
I second it.
All right, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
And opposed?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Then the motion passes, and you need to just keep going, get your permit, you'll be all right. Okay, we'll move on to case number 20-001292.
One quick interjection.
Yes,
Heather Chrisman, can you hear us? And if you would, try to speak so we can hear you.
Mr. Rose, I don't believe we're going to get a reply.
Okay. Heather, then if you need anything, just text me and I'll relay it to the board. Thank you.
Oh, does she have a message for us, or just,
No, we were trying to get audio established and we've been going back and forth and didn't get it.
okay.
But she
well,
can hear you guys loud and clear, so if she needs anything,
if she
she'll let
needs
us
to
know.
interrupt us, she will. Okay, but we could proceed then to the fourth case here?
Absolutely.
All right. Is this, Mr. Lynch, are you going to do this one? Okay.
Good to go.
Okay, Board, my final case for the evening involves case number 20001292. This is parcel 22 to south 2031200620180 belonging to Tina Brand Stewart, located at 1480 County Highway 393 North in Santa Rosa Beach. The land use is residential preservation. The Land Development Code violations cited are 1.13.09C, building permit required, 5.00.03, building setbacks, and finally 7.02.01A1, junk and litter. That's Next slide, please. This property is situated on Highway 393 North. It's up about 3/4 of the way towards the bay. Property sits on the east side of the highway. The violation cited 1.1309C, building permits. No erection, alteration, or reconstruction of any building or structure shall be commenced without first obtaining a building permit from the building official. 5.00.03, building setback requirements. Setback requirements shall apply to all structures erected on property situated in unincorporated areas of Walton County. For single-family residence, it is 20 feet in the front, 7.5 feet on the side, and 15 feet to the rear. 7.02.01A1, junk and litter. No owner or occupant shall cause or permit junk, litter, or junked or abandoned motor vehicles to remain in or upon any yard, garden, lawn, open outbuilding, or open area of any private property in the county within residential and mixed-use zoning for a period in excess of 30 days. Next slide. This case started off on February 19th. A complaint was made in regards to junk and debris and a structure built that extends beyond the property line. On February 21st of this year, an inspection shows a large amount of junk and debris in the backyard, as well as a 2-story structure with an upper-level walkover connected to the rear of the house and stairs leading to the backyard. There's also an old camper beside the structure. The complainant gave permission to use his property to view the violation. On February 25th, Kurt, thank you. On February 25th, I prepared and sent a notice of violation to the property owner via certified mail with return receipt. On April 1st, inspection showed that there had been no change to the structure. There is still scattered junk and debris, but not as much as the initial inspection. On May 7th, an inspection showed that there has been no progress in the removal of the shed or the camper. On May 8th, I prepared and sent a notice of hearing to the property owner via certified mail with return receipt. Next slide. On May 14th, I spoke to the property owner who advised that she had received the notice of hearing and there was discussion on how to remove the structure and the camper. I suggested contacting the neighbor behind her property to see if she could cut across his property to remove the items. On May 15th, the following day, I made contact with this neighbor behind the property owner. His name's Mr. Krager, and discussed about allowing the property owner to remove the structure and camper across his property. Mr. Krager advised that he would allow the property owner to cut across this property. I attempted to contact the property owner back at the same phone number used the previous day, but was advised that there is now a restriction on incoming calls. I tried that as well yesterday or today, and I got that same phone message. On today, the pre-hearing inspection shows that the structure remains as well as the camper. There is still junk and debris on the property. It looked, though, I could see a little bit more light through the windows, and it looks like they may be in the process of dismantling. Today I could see some studs and the actual wall structure through the windows, so there may be some activity going on there. Next slide, please. This is the property and the condition on the initial inspection on February 21st. You can see the structure is very narrow, 2 stories. It does have a walkover that connects to the house and then has a set of stairs that goes down into the backyard. With the connection of the walkover and this structure, I know that at least part of it is on the property line or possibly into the property behind, which is an old county alley. Next slide, please. Same date. These are just some photos of the conditions and the junk. The photo to the right shows the stairway leading from the backyard to the walkway. It's kind of a strange setup to have a setup on a walkway over a chain link fence to get into a structure. But it's all attached to the back of the house. Next slide, please. This is the notice of violation that was sent on February 25th, and the, next slide, and the mailings. You'll note that on the right, this was signed for. Next slide. The notice of hearing that was sent on May 8th, and the mailings. Next slide. This is the notice of tracking, which showed that the notice of hearing was delivered. Next slide. These were the conditions as of today. You'll note that the two-story structure is still present with the walkover and the stairs. The junk and debris that was there before is no longer there, although it's hard to see, but in the picture to the top left, if you look just to the right of the stairs, there's a lot of scrap wood, and this is what I'm thinking may have been part of the demolition of the structure from inside, possibly. The property owner is here, and I'll allow her to speak to that. Next slide, please. I would ask the board, please find that 1480 County Highway 393 North, Santa Rosa Beach, Florida, parcel 222 South, 2033120-062-0180 is located within the unincorporated area of Walton County and is subject to Chapter 7 of the Walton County Land Development Code. I'd ask that you please find that the violations of the Walton County Land Development Code 1.1309C, 50003, and 7.02.01A1 do exist on the property. Please find that the proper notice of the hearing was given to the respondent. I ask that the respondent is to correct the violation within 30 days of the date of this order, and that the respondent is further ordered to contact the Walton County Code Enforcement Department to arrange for a reinspection of the subject property to verify compliance with this order. And finally, that if the respondent fails to comply with the above action or fails to bring the property into compliance with the applicable codes, ordinances, and regulations according to this order, the board assesses a fine of $150 a day until the property is brought into compliance. At this time, I'd ask that you accept my testimony and presentation into evidence.
I accept it into evidence. Any questions for Officer Lynch? Where is the property line in that? We saw the chain link fence and the structure. Where's the rear property line? To the right of that structure?
That's it's very hard to tell because as a normal setback, if that house was placed where it's supposed to be, the property line should be about 15 feet to the rear, which would incorporate the edge of this property. My estimation is that the distance between the two structures is maybe somewhere around 12 feet, but I didn't have any means to measure.
Right.
So it's somewhere there.
Any other questions?
Officer Lynch, were there any permits pulled for the project?
No, sir. There are no permits, no records of this structure at all.
Okay, no more questions. We thank you for your testimony. And,
Just one moment, please.
Yeah.
You'll need to accept his additional testimony into the record as well.
oh, his additional testimony, it is so accepted. Okay, step forward, please, and introduce yourself.
My name's Tina Brand Stewart, and I inherited this from our family. They bought, they own the land 2 lots over. They own 3 lots, and they own the land that was behind that has all been sold. And we inherited that 1 lot 15 years ago, something like that. And that old trailer was there. We did build because when Johnny Martin had back in the 80s, behind our house, there was a road. It was set up like Seaside, where you got different roads that you can ride your bikes down or park in the backyard.
Yeah.
Well, they had that abandoned. Well, there used to be trailers everywhere right there when I moved in, but they're gone now. And I don't mind doing or getting, he's tearing down the structure. Is where the structure where they're showing
That, yeah.
right there, we own from the back to right halfway into that structure.
And-
That much still back, our property line goes.
And then that's the alley.
And then that's the alley, which is, when I moved on there, they said 15 feet, you could build another shed. So it started out as a shed. And the trailer was there. And I just want to do what's righteous. So we're tearing down the upstairs. And that's what we've been doing, you know, slowly but surely, because it was put together like a house almost, but it was a shed. But that road back there, that 25 feet is abandoned. And there's no way for me to get that trailer out. There's a 2-story house here now. I get probably the people that called on me, you know, but the house is already up. And it's on the other side of this structure. And the reason that structure goes up, like that stairway from our backyard, which we still own on the other side of this, 14 foot back. That's 15 years ago. Because we lived on the base. But when you go back there, the reason we put that stairway, which is a weird structure we did, is we had a handicapped dog. And our dog was always with we're separated, but with my husband. And the dog, so he put the stairway in for the dog. And that's the God's honest truth. And I just want to do what's righteous, you know, if we need to tear it down, if we need to get building permits. What I'm wondering, we could tear down that structure, which, I mean, it's got hurricane clips. We had to take siding out. Before we took the wall part out, my son works at the flooring company, at Jean's Flooring Company. So we had all those strips up. So we've had to take all those down. We've had to do a lot. It's de-gutted upstairs already. The top part is. But when all this was started, it was back. The trailer part and all that was back before I even moved on, inherited the land. And that's why we didn't put our fence. See, our fence doesn't even go back that far. You know, we made our fence inward so we could use it. It was an abandoned road, you know. We put a little shed back there, and that's where our lawnmower went. And the only reason we bettered it is the stairway is for our dog, our old dog, our big old dog that we got in love. And he's old, and that's why that staircase went up. And he should have pulled a permit on it. And I mean, it's put together. Whatever I've got to do righteous, I am willing to do. Just, I don't know what to do, you know? Like I said, I've been, as much as I can get him to come over and work and pull it back apart, I've been doing. You know, he works at South Walton, so when I can get him over there to pull it apart, and he's almost de-gutted the upstairs. I mean, it's not completely, but you can see the wood, see the pile of wood.
Would you plan to take down the downstairs as well, or just the upstairs?
Whatever you guys tell me to do, I'll do. But the trailer was there. I don't know what to do with the trailer. And there's no way to get really any of it. We're really going to have to tear down all that.
When you say trailer, you're telling me that structure actually encases a trailer?
When I got on, there's a trailer on the other side of that structure that sits on that road too.
There's a camper, and it's very hard to see. It's dark red.
It's like it's an old Scotty's. It's an old Scotty's camper. And there was 2 of them back there. And we kept our stuff in one of them. We started getting rats and stuff. So we started building around it and tearing out the whole camper and turned it into like a nice shed. It was a really nice shed. The stairway, and he started putting that siding on because he got it up at Ace. I guess right when the people bought the land and we're going to build next door. And there was a bad mess back there. I mean, I was livid when I went back there, but I did pay to get that cleaned up. You know, that's cost me $1,600. And I'm, you know, to get him over there to pull it down, I'm working on it as hard as I can. But the road was abandoned since 86 when I moved here. You know, and my father-in-law owned the land that like connected to everything.
Did they deed the easement back to you or not?
No, they never, no one uses it. It's just woods. All it is woods. And my property went, like I said, it wasn't deeded, no. It was just abandoned. Johnny Martin had it abandoned. He owned all the land back in those days.
So who owns the land now? The county?
No, it's abandoned.
Well, somebody owns the land.
Somebody got to own it.
They said that we had an extra 15 foot is what I was
The
told.
county owns it.
The county does own it? Okay, well,
County property.
yeah, and it's been there like that. Well, see, I heard it was abandoned. That's what my father-in-law said. It was abandoned years ago. All these trailers, because there was trailers on my land, the land next to me. It was just a mess back before we moved.
Okay, does anybody have more questions for Ms. Brand?
Yes, I do. How long will it take you to take the shed down?
The shed down?
To get the whole,
There's
I'm talking about the whole thing,
a month.
the upstairs and the downstairs?
everything.
And and how have the camper, I don't even know. Because there's no way to get it out. If the people want to build houses next to us, we get
Mr.
them.
Lynch, yeah.
The neighbor behind you, Ms. Brand, Mr. Krager, he said that you can take the camper out across his property. He just has a septic that he wants you to try to avoid, but that Parcels, is it Parcels Place? He said that you're more than welcome to take that camper out across his property and then access Parcels.
Okay, and I don't know who owns that because my father-in-law sold it and someone else bought it.
I don't think you're gonna have to worry too much
But
about it.
this Mr. Craig, I know because I had a septic back in the day when I lived on the bay and stuff. The septic, you don't want to run over your drainage field and all that.
Right.
And the camper part, if I can, I called because I did try that before I didn't know that he had talked to him. It's $2,500 to take down a pine tree. So I would have to take down pine trees through this man's property to get it out, wouldn't I? And I don't have money like that. I mean, honestly, I don't know.
Who's giving you a price like that?
Yeah.
That's how, I called two people and they told me,
$500,
one told me
yeah.
2,000, it was like
This
2,000.
day and age.
It is for pine
They're
trees.
yeah.
I remember when they were 200. That's what I told them.
I paid $250 last week.
Yeah, but you live in Mossy.
Well, I was gonna say, well, you need to give me that number then. But yeah,
The Mossy Head
yeah,
tax.
see really, I'm doing what, Mr. Lynch wants me to do because,
All right, let's
and
wrap
I
this
know
up.
how you said that the stairway
Let her
was
off. She's
crazy,
talking
that
all
you
week.
did
She
that.
can go all
And
evening,
it
yeah.
was for our dog because he
Okay,
loved him.
okay,
That's
Ms.
it.
Brand, I'm gonna accept what you've told us into evidence, and we're gonna close the public part of the hearing, and we'll figure out what we think you should do. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
And then have Marty keep pulling the shed down,
Well, wait,
right?
we'll decide, and then we'll let you know,
Okay,
okay?
great.
But
Thank you.
right now, we're gonna close the public part of the hearing, and we'll discuss it,
Okay,
okay?
thank you so much, sir.
Well, wait,
Thank
don't
you.
go away. Don't go away.
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta hear what happens.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Okay, thank you. Anybody got a statement to make, a motion to make?
I have a question more on that trailer.
Yeah.
What is that on wheels? Is it a big trailer?
It's a little trailer, it's a Scotty, it's a old utility trailer.
You can't just take it apart?
Sure you can.
I mean, can it,
Yeah, I'm sure it's rotted away enough that you can.
Probably fall apart, you try to drag
instead
it.
of trying to haul it across somebody's property?
Right, right. Then no liability, no foul, no
He knows what a
liability.
sawzall is.
But
He
look,
can
that's
handle
not for us to worry about. It's,
Right.
Oh,
we
if
can
you use it
tell her
before.
that she needs to remove it. We don't
Buy
need to
live
tell her
blades.
how to do it, okay?
Well, are we going, given the COVID situation, we don't know when that's going to occur, but should we give some time for him to take it down? 'Cause
Well,
it
he
could-
recommended 30 days. We could be sports and
That's-
give her 60
That's
days or
that's
something.
what I was going to
Yeah.
recommend, yeah. I can, I'll accept recommend that we accept the officer's recommendation, but change the 30 days to 60 days.
Okay, and there'd be no fine, well, will there be a fine after 60 days of
Yes.
$150 a day, is that
All
right?
So the motion, 60 days, I second it.
Okay, any further discussion? Oh, wait, well, I'll let you know. Okay, then all those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Okay, then motion passes. So, Ms. Brand, what we did, we gave you 60 days to clean it all up, okay? And if you cleaned it all up, it all goes away. If you don't clean it up, then we're gonna be fining you $150 a day. So, including the trailer. But look, the trailer is not a major event. A trailer as old as that is, I can tell you from personal experience, is not that hard. Yeah, yeah. That's not a question
that up
for
with
me.
planning.
Yeah.
Can't build on county property.
Yeah.
Who we got next? Coco Investments. Profit.
Okay, do that. It'll make your life easier and ours as well.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Yep. Thank you. All right, we'll move right on to 20001486. And who's going to, Anna? Step to the forefront, please.
Good evening, board members. Officer Reichert, for the record, I'm submitting this presentation and final order. This is case 20-001486. Property owners listed as Coco Investments LLC with a registered agent, Jason Comer. On February 25th, 2020, we received a complaint regarding building without permits, or it was actually renovation without permits. This property is located directly on the beach. If you'll look at the top, you'll see County Road 30A. Trying to describe it. Sand Cliffs neighborhood, real close to Rosemary.
Right.
Okay.
Other
Parcel numbers 27-3 South-18-164-00A-0200. The land use is residential preservation. It's a single-family residential with the front setbacks of 20 feet, the side setbacks of 7.5 feet. Research revealed there were no permits issued for the reservation through the building department. My first inspection I conducted on March the 2nd, 2020. You can see there's the windows are being replaced, and it's hard to get a picture of the front. The photo that's on the left is a photo of the front that is facing the beach. And those windows are all brand new sliding glass windows. And then the picture on the right is a window that's on the west side of the building, and that's the brand new window that's been put in. On the next slide, you'll see the left hand, that's the front door being replaced, and there's a little electrical work being done on the side there. The middle picture shows ladders and some other construction items on the deck that faces the beach. And then those, the picture on the right shows the new sliding glass doors. I couldn't get any closer, so that's.
You say it's a new front door. Is that on the south or the north side of the house?
That is on the west.
Okay.
So the front doors and windows are being replaced on the west, and then new sliding glass facing the beach, which would be south. So I could only really see the west and the south. The front of the building didn't look to have any renovations. It's actually street side on the north side. And then the east side, privacy fence there, I couldn't get any access to go that side. This Coco Investments is listed as an Alabama business with the registered agent Jason Comer. On March 5th, I sent a notice of violation to the registered agent as shown on the Alabama Business Registry. The next slide shows my notice of the code board hearing. We didn't get the signed signature card back, but the USPS tracking shows that it was delivered. The only contact I've had was on May the 14th of 2020. A person describing himself as a property manager, Scott Barnes, left a message stating he would have permits by June the 18th, today. And as of today, reinspection reveals no permits for the renovation. The property remains in violation of the Land Development Code Section 1.13.09C. Building permits required. No erection, alteration, or reconstruction of any building or structure shall be commenced without first obtaining a building permit from the building official. The last slide is a reinspection that was done today. The other pictures, for some reason, didn't come out. So this is the west side. Both of these pictures are showing the west side, brand new windows that were installed. From April the 6th through May the 4th, 2020, due to the COVID-19 virus, casework was delayed, so there's a little delay in the timing of the reinspection pictures. The renovation did continue, and the notice for violation was received, and we received the signed signature cards back. And as of today, they are still in violation. This is a lawfully constituted code enforcement proceeding convened pursuant to Chapter 162 of the Florida statute. The Code Board has jurisdiction over the subject matter and the respondent. Notice of this proceeding has been duly provided to the respondent as required by county code. By reason of the foregoing facts, the respondent, Coco Investments LLC, is in violation of Section 1.13.09C of the county code, and the respondent is subject to the enforcement jurisdiction of the Code Board. What I'm reading? Oh, okay. It's my recommendation that the Code Board determine that the address of 296 Sandcliffs Drive is located within the unincorporated area of Walton County and is subject to the Walton County Code of Ordinances. That proper notice of hearing was given to the respondent. That a violation of the Walton County Code Section 1.13.09C does exist on the property. That the respondent is to correct the violations within 12 days of the date of this order. And my reason for 12 days makes it July 1st, and that's the deadline to get it scheduled for the next Code Board for the fine determination. The respondent is further ordered to contact the Walton County Code Enforcement Department and arrange for reinspection of the subject property to verify compliance with this order. That if the respondent fails to comply with the above actions or fails to bring the property into compliance with the applicable codes, ordinances, and regulations according to this order, that the board assess a fine of $100 per day per violation, which is only one violation, until the property is brought into compliance. And I requested $100 per day because it's basically one permit through the building department. I ask that you accept my presentation and testimony into the record.
I do accept it into evidence. Questions for Officer Reichert? Any?
Officer Riker, did it appear to be one or two damaged windows, or were they doing the entire house?
I believe the entire house was being done. Again, the roadside of the house didn't look like it, but it could have been done prior to my investigation.
Okay. Is anybody here going to speak on behalf of Coco Investments? Is anyone going to speak on behalf of this issue? If not, then I'll close the public part of the hearing. For further testimony?
Additional testimony.
Okay, I accept everything you've said into evidence. Anybody got a comment? I got a comment. I think the guy ought to pay $250 a day. Certainly you can report it, and certainly he was aware of the situation.
He's got a problem if these windows are not product approved. So it could be a situation where he goes to a building department, and if he has windows that are not listed on the Florida Building Code and has acceptance, NOA or either product approval, he's got a problem, which means he's gonna have to take them all out and put all acceptable windows in. So it could be a interesting situation. I mean, he can pull a permit, Billy would give him a permit, and I think Billy would agree that if he does have product approval on the windows, he could probably pay a permit after the fact. And if that's the case, so it'll be a pretty smooth operation. But if the windows are not accepted and are not listed on Florida Building Code, he's got a problem. That doesn't mean he can't pull a permit. He's just gonna have to replace the windows and doors.
Does that address what I said? Do you care? Does it matter about the fine? No.
No. One way or the other, he's gonna have to come in compliance if they're, okay, so.
Victor's right. Well, that blue does look like it's a hurricane. The impact.
Yeah, I agree, yeah. I hope that's,
But
for
he's
his sake, I
totally
hope that's
correct,
good.
'cause he's right there. I mean, he's right there on the high tide line.
Okay, any other discussion, or somebody want to make a motion?
I move that we accept the testimony and we go to $250 a day.
I mean, it's compliance
12
within
days.
12 days, or a fine of $250 a day.
Correct.
I'll second that.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Can he get a permit within 12 days?
Sure.
For
For this,
windows
I'm
and
pretty sure
doors,
he can.
fenestration, sure.
Okay.
Go
Sounds
see
pretty clean cut.
get him talking with Billy, I'm sure he can do it.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? The motion carries. Okay, we'll do one more and then we'll take a break, okay? So let's go on to 20002289. Anna?
Again. Okay, again, Officer Reichert, for the record, I'm submitting this presentation in final order. This is case 20-2289. Property owner is Woodrow W. Sconyers. We received a complaint on March 24th, 2020 regarding the following violations: development order general applicability, development order approval, and recreational vehicles. This property is located on the west side of Highway 331. And as you see Interstate 10 there, it's I don't know, maybe a mile south on the east side. And you'll turn onto a road there. I forgot what the name of that road. Coy Burgess, yes, sir. So you guys know where that's at. This is property parcel number 15-2 north -19 -18070-000-0170. The land use is estate residential. The front setbacks, again, are 20 feet. Side setbacks are 7.5 feet. Research showed that a T-pole had been approved for a, next slide, please. A T-pole had been approved for a well and a septic tank. And in the yellow on the far right-hand side, that's where the T-pole was shown to be located, was approved for that location. The left-hand side, that's as close as I could get and blow it up. Copy of the parcel. Part of the complaint was that there are numerous RVs and sheds that are being occupied on the property.
How big is this property?
7 acres, I believe. 7.5 acres. And next slide, please. Upon my inspection, I found there were 2 RVs, a motorhome, and a shed that I could see. The rest of the sheds are located on the interior of the property that I didn't have access to. My first inspection I conducted March 25th, 2020. On the left, you'll see there the far left in the white and blue, that is the motorhome. Then right in the center of that picture is the RV. And on the right-hand side, you'll see it has individual water, sewer, and electrical hookups. Next slide, please. Oops. Yeah, there. On the right, on the left-hand side, this pickup, the person staying in the RV there had come outside, and I spoke with him. I did not get his name, but he said that he did not know the property owner, that he was able to rent this space for his RV, and once a month he put the rent money in the mailbox, but he didn't even know who the owner was. On the right-hand side, you'll see that's the third RV and a shed right to the very right-hand side, and that's one of the sheds that looked to be occupied. Page. I sent the notice of violation dated March 25th, received the signature card, was signed April the 6th of 2020. Next is my notice of the code board hearing for tonight, and the signature card, which was signed May the 18th of 2020. This is the follow-up inspections. All of the RVs and campers still remain. The shed is still there, looked occupied. My inspections, I revealed that the development order, applicability, that no development shall be undertaken without prior authorization. And the development order requires a pre-application, a submittal, review, and decision-making criteria involved in consideration of all development proposals in Walton County. And 2.02.00P, recreational vehicles. The use of a recreational vehicle as a permanent residence is not permitted except in a licensed RV park. And in a state residential zone allows a temporary use of an RV on parcels 5 acres or greater, but first, the RV must be owned by the property owner or immediate family member. The property owner shall provide for lawful disposal of solid waste and wastewater, which is what we turned over to the health department. And third, commercial use of an RV is prohibited. RV parking spaces may not be rented or leased. I spoke with the planning director, Matt Carpenter, and a development order is required for 3 or more RVs. This parcel is found to be in violation of 2.02.00P, recreational vehicles, 1.07.01, development order applicability, and 1.13.00, development order approval. Again, this case, during the months of April 6th through May the 4th, 2020, due to COVID-19 virus, the case work was delayed, so some of the inspections didn't happen timely. But he was notified and did sign for all the notifications. As of today, reinspection shows RVs remain on the property and in violation of the LDC 2.02.00P, 1.07.01, 1.13.00. This is a lawfully constituted code enforcement proceeding convened pursuant to Chapter 162 of the Florida statutes. The Code Board has jurisdiction over the subject matter and the respondent. Notice of this proceeding has been duly provided to the respondent as required by county code. The respondent, Woodrow W. Sconyers, by reason of the foregoing facts, is in violation of Section 1.07.01, 1.13.00, and 2.02.00P of the county code. The respondent is subject to the enforcement jurisdiction of the Code Board. It is my recommendation that the Code Board determine that, 1, the address 598 Quail Ridge Road of Defuniak Springs is located within the unincorporated area of Walton County and subject to the Walton County Code of Ordinances. That proper notice of hearing was given to the respondent. That a violation of Walton County Land Development Code Sections 1.07.01, 1.07.01, 1.13.09C, and 2.02.00P does exist on the property. I request that the board determine that the respondent is to correct the violations by submittal of a permit application, and all required documents be turned in within 30 days of this order. That the respondent is further ordered to contact Walton County Code Enforcement Department to arrange for reinspection of the subject property to verify compliance with this order. I'm not asking for approval of the permit, just that he be required to turn in all required documents within the 30 days. That if the respondent fails to comply with the above action or fails to bring the property into compliance with the applicable codes, ordinance, and regulations according to this order, that the board assess a fine of $250 per day per violation until the property is brought into compliance. And I ask the board to accept my testimony and presentation into the record.
I do accept it into the record.
Thank you.
Do we have more questions for Officer Reichert?
I do. So you're saying $750 for all three?
Correct. Correct. He's had notice for several months.
Okay, we'll accept Ms. Reichert's further comments into evidence. And you, sir, Mr. Sconyers, would you step forward, please, and address the board? Yeah, if you could remain seated if they put a microphone in front of you.
All right.
Tell us who you are.
Woodrow W. Buck Sconyers, Phoenix Springs, Florida. And I quickly tell you, I've been poisoned by local business last 2 years, and it has seriously affected me. They tell me the bottom part of my heart's completely dead, top part's working at 33%, and I've had a stroke in the brain, so you're gonna have to be patient with me and work with me.
Okay.
I ain't the best of help, put it that way. So anyway, I've had campers going and coming on this piece of property since 1992. So I don't know why. I do know why all of a sudden this has got to be a problem. I got a neighbor who lives across the highway from me, and all he does do is tend to my business across the street. That's the problem. So that's why I'm here tonight. But I dealt with the health department on all these issues from day one, and they told me I could have 4 units there before it came an RV park. Right now, it's 3 units there, and the only reason it's really 3 there, a friend of mine came in from Tennessee and needed a place to stay. He's building a home right down the street from me, and he'll be moving in within the next 45 days. You can put that down for me, talked him into living in Walton County, moving to Walton County, building a home for more tax base for us anyway. Also, I have another one there. He's building a home on Bob Sykes Highway, and he should be out there within 60 days. So that's be 2 of them gone, but what my concern is, I've had people camping on that property since 1992, going and coming. And I can have some of them to come testify to that fact. So why all of a sudden I'm against all these regulations is what I'm wanting to say. That's a long time, you know.
We could ask, at what date would he be grandfathered in? Mr. Carpenter? So if he could establish that he's been running this thing with less than 4 RVs since that date, his argument prevails?
Some of them has passed away, but I know of two that can come and testify to that fact now.
I think I could almost do that.
That's right.
I think I could too.
Gordon's been fighting with me a long time.
Matt Carpenter for the Planning Department, CARPENTER. Given the circumstances, I would ask the board to give us 30 days to work with Mr. Sconnors to establish that he might have a vested use, and that all of these RVs are ported into septic tanks that have been permitted by the health department. And then we can report back at the next meeting. That would be acceptable.
Anybody object to that?
Are you asking for a continuance, Mr. Carpenter?
Then we can move on that, right? Okay, anybody want to make that motion?
Go ahead.
Mr.
I
Porter,
move we accept Mr. Carpenter's continuance.
Porter, you want to second it?
Yes,
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, you got 30 days. Hopefully you'll all work it out.
All right, Buck, go get him. Yeah, he did two of mine.
I've known that guy for,
Buck, you did two of mine.
Thank you, thank
yeah, I knew you way back in Seaside.
I've done a bunch of them.
Yeah.
done a restaurant there,
Yeah, right.
for years. Good growth.
Yeah, so I started business in 1966 in Walton County. First businessman to go across the bay, 1981, and opened up the first office across the bay,
Did mine in 87 and 89.
1981. So, I think fishing across the bay, but didn't have money to do nothing about it.
What was the pause they did on that coffee thing they put?
Yeah, I was there, yeah.
They paused it.
Yeah, when,
Yeah.
tea, took a look at the blue chemical, clean them pots with.
Yeah.
Hey, now I see you 2 weeks, blood pressure 248 over 110. Give me a stroke. Kill my heart. Put the pacemaker in. Then in September, I got ran over in Walmart parking lot. Two boys hit me doing 25 miles an hour. Drug me 25 feet down the pavement.
Oh, we did.
Buck, you better stay at the house, man.
Yeah, you better stay there.
You're running out of lives. All right, we've been an hour and 20 minutes. You want to take a break or you want to keep going? Anybody?
Let's go.
You can go.
Keep going? All right. Number 7, who's going to do that? Anna, you going to do all the rest of them?
Yeah.
Yes?
No. No.
Okay.
No.
I will say, Tom, that these presentation Anna's put up there, they're so much easier to read with that dark background. I don't know if y'all agree or not, but
Yeah.
I just thought I'd pass
Yeah.
that on to you, so.
Well, it's the computer program. It says, do you want us to design it? Sure, and it just does it. So I'm thankful.
No, it's really, well, it's just hard to read, you know, it's easier to read with white on black, from the screen standpoint.
Yeah, Buck did a couple for me.
All right, again, for the record, I'm Anna Reichert, Walton County Code Enforcement. I'm submitting this presentation in final order. This is case 20-002391. Property owner is Angela Carolyn Roberts. On March 30th, 2020, we received a complaint regarding the following violations: development order requirements, building permit requirements, and recreational vehicles. Slide. This property lies off of East Harborview Road. On the left-hand side of this, you'll see Mac Bio Road runs up and down, north and south, and East Harborview, you take a right, and it's not quite to the bay, but that's the area it's at. Not quite to Driftwood area. The parcel number is 24-2 south-21-42000-025-0040. The land use is neighborhood infill. Further research revealed that a T-pole permit had been denied by the Planning Department for RV use on January the 4th of 2019. This is the first inspection on March 2nd, 2020. This is the view from Madge Lane, which is actually like the alleyway. It's one street south of Harborview. So you can access Madge Lane from MacBio Road as well. From this, you see there's evidence of clearing. There are 2 RVs located on the property, no permits. Next slide. Again, this is first inspection, and this is the view from East Harborview Road. So you're looking south at the property. You'll see the RVs in the far left-hand corner, and it just looks like they're occupied with all of the outdoor furniture and things. The 2 pictures on the right show the clearing that has happened there on that parcel. Next slide. And this again is from Harborview. You'll see the RVs there, outdoor furniture. This is the notice of violation that was sent on March 31st. I used the address that was shown on the Walton County Property Appraiser's website. It was returned as insufficient address and unable to forward. So again, during the COVID-19, couple months there, our inspections were delayed. So the following action was I posted the notice of violation on the property on May the 5th, 2020. And then I sent notice of the code board hearing for tonight. I got an updated address from one of the other officers who also has a case on a separate parcel. And his mailings were going and getting delivered, so I used that address. The notice of hearing was sent certified mail to the updated address. On May the 19th, the post office left a notice for the certified letter, but because no one was authorized there to sign for it, but the letter was not picked up as of today. A second notice was sent to her, I found out, on June the 4th, also left there with no pickup. Today I re-inspected. These are the pictures. The RVs are still there. You can see the trees that were cut and left on the property. On we hadn't heard from her in months, but on June 11th, she left a message saying she had obtained permits and would provide a copy to code enforcement. But my research showed no permits were obtained through Walton County Planning Department. As of today, the reinspection revealed no permits for clearing or a development order, and the RVs remain on the property in violation of the LDC sections 1.13.00 development approvals, which no development activity may be undertaken without an approved permit, and LDC section 1.13.09E clearing south of Choctawhatchee Bay land clearing permits shall only be issued in conjunction with or as part of a building permit or a development plan, and 2.02.00P recreational vehicles. The use of a recreational vehicle as a permanent residence is not permitted, and in this zoning, neighborhood infill RVs are not permitted without an existing primary structure. As of today, the property remains in violation of, 1.13.00, the development order requirements, 1.13.09C, clearing permits required, and 2.02.00P, recreational vehicle requirements. This is a lawfully constituted code enforcement proceeding convened pursuant to Chapter 162 Florida statutes. The Code Board has jurisdiction over the subject matter and the respondent. Notice of this proceeding has been duly provided to the respondent as required by county code. The respondent, Angela Carolyn Roberts, by reason of the foregoing facts, is in violation of sections 1.13.00, 1.13.09C, and 2.02.00P of the county code. The respondent is subject to the enforcement jurisdiction of the Code Board. It is my recommendation that the Code Enforcement Board determine that 1, the address of 172 East Harbor View Road is located within the unincorporated area of Walton County and is subject to the Walton County Code of Ordinances. That 2, proper notice of hearing was given to the respondent. That 3, violations of the Walton County Land Development Code sections 1.13.00, 1.13.09C, and 2.02.00P do exist on the property. That the respondent is to correct the violations within 12 days of the date of this order, and the respondent is further ordered to contact the Walton County Code Enforcement Department to arrange for reinspection of the subject property to verify compliance with this order. And the 12 days again is so that by July 1st, I have the deadline to put it on the agenda for the fine determination. Also find that the respondent is I'm asking to be her to be found as a repeat offender according to LDC 7.01.07H2, which states whenever the board finds a repeat violation of the code has been committed, it may order the violator to pay a fine in an amount not to exceed $500 per day for such repeat violation for each day the violation continues or has continued, beginning with the date the repeat violation is bound to have occurred by the code inspector and continuing until such date as the violation was or is eliminated. Whenever the Code Enforcement Board finds that a violation is irreparable or irreversible in nature, has been committed, it may impose a fine not to exceed $5,000 per violation. I'm just telling you what that says and saying that's a recommendation, but the reason I'm finding her as a repeat offender is we do have a second parcel with the same clearing violation on it.
Can I ask you when that was?
What was?
The
First
violation.
They were both reported to us at the same time. And
Well, then how does it become a repeat if it isn't? No. Yes, Mr. Rose.
Negative, that would not be a repeat violation. In order to have a repeat violation under Florida statute, they have to be already adjudicated through the
Okay.
code board.
So you're suggesting then take away the $500 fine, and what would you suggest?
$250 per day, that would be the
Per
max.
violation?
Yes.
And you keep saying 1.1309C, but on the, it says here E, and the next one, clearing permit says E.
I'm sorry, yeah,
Which is
I'm
right?
not double checking on my,
Is E correct?
He is correct.
Okay.
okay.
Okay, so $250 a day times 3, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I accept Officer Reichert's evidence and testimony into evidence. And other questions for Officer Reichert?
Yes, please.
Yes, Victor.
So in the 12 days, you think she has time to submit for a development order for that property? Is that what you're?
Well, she could submit, first of all, she needs to remove the RVs, so that would be one. But yeah, she could submit for a clearing permit or restoration.
But she can't get a clearing permit unless she gets a building permit.
Correct, that's true.
Or a development order, one or the other.
So you're going to give her 12 days to submit for the development order. Is that right?
Yes.
Any other questions? Then I'll accept Officer Reichert's further testimony into evidence. And Ms. Roberts, is that you? Okay, would you please come forward and address the board?
And she was not sworn in.
Oh, okay, well, we can handle that.
You do not have to testify, but if you wish to, you can.
I'm not going to give you a hard time, but you do need to be sworn in.
I know. Okay. Roberts, if you'll raise your right hand, you can stay there, please. You swear or affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth before this board in this matter. Thank you. So sworn, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Well, you heard Officer Reichert. Is there anything that you'd like to add, contradict, edit, whatever?
I'm gonna build a house there,
Yeah.
and, gone through builders, and I'm getting permits, but I didn't know certain things I'm learning, and, I'm trying to do the right thing. I tried to get electric for those, but they're really storage. I live somewhere else, and, the builder is, I've got the builder. I finally found somebody good. I've been through a few, and they just didn't work out. I mean, they were shysters. So I'm trying to find somebody that, I've got one. Heath Ogilvy. Okay, anyway. I'm getting a plan drawn right now. It's 3 weeks out because they're so busy. He lives here in this area. He's doing me a build, I'm sorry, architecture drawing.
Right.
So he's working on it right now. He lives right behind here, actually. His name's Gary Mitchum. Okay. So he's working on that. Then I'm working on, I've been trying to build out here forever. Let's see, what else do I need to tell you? I don't live there. The RV that's there, it was already there. I bought it from the man I bought the property from. There's 2 pieces of property there, and I bought that Airstream from him. It's gutted. I was trying to get a shed, but I was scared to put a shed out after all this happened because it's full of my art, and you can see it's not locked if you want to go look at it.
Nobody's living in either of the RVs.
No, it's just storage out there. I just put those chairs out there. I'm an interior designer. I didn't know I was violating any rights. I just made it pretty. I'm just trying to make all this pretty. I've never done this before. I didn't know we had to have permits for.
Who cleared the lot?
It was just, when we first got there, we put the Airstreams there and we just started, I didn't realize, now, I know, but I have someone helping me with all of this. That's why I didn't want to say anything, because, I'm not trying. I'm trying my hardest to make it right, and,
Ma'am, I'm confused. You
Okay.
just said you brought the RVs there, but
No,
you
no, no,
previously
no.
said that you bought them from the man.
Sir, I have 2 there. I bought one from the man.
Was it cleared when it was already cleared?
Yeah, he had all the debris out. I just pushed everything back.
But pushed with what?
With a little tractor, we pushed it back.
You brought in equipment and moved
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah,
Okay.
I did that, yeah. I didn't know that I couldn't, and I'm sorry for that, and I'm learning as I'm going, but I know I need permits to build. I know that, and that's what I've been trying to do. I just didn't realize, in the other property, I don't know if we're talking about it yet, but.
No, we're gonna,
Okay,
we'll have to
okay.
deal with that one as a separate case.
Okay.
So
But-
we got to handle them one at a
Okay.
time.
I don't know what else to say. I'm trying my hardest to work with everyone. I just didn't truly, I want to make it right, and I want to make it pretty, I'm trying my hardest to do that and try to find the builders. I finally, like I said, found the right person, found the architect. He's 3 weeks out, Gary, and he's going to get the permits. He lives in this county, so he knows how to do all the permits, and, the builder, he knows how to do all the permits. His name is Heath Ogilvy. So those 2 men are going to help me with permits,
Okay, does anybody else on the board have a question from Ms. Roberts?
I guess I have a clarification. No one lives in the trailers. You put the stuff out to make it look pretty.
Yes.
I mean, I'm just asking.
I know, I'll take it up. I'll take the chairs
No,
up.
I mean, is that the case?
Yeah, I'll put those chairs up if it's a problem. If you see, it's just a little sofa and chairs.
I understand.
I just,
I just want to assure that no one is living in the
no,
trailers.
I live over, on the island, Holiday Isle. And during the virus, I got the notice, I signed it, I put it on the door, and I kept it on the door, and nobody came. I called the post office. It was
And
just,
did somebody just leave that jet ski sitting there?
yes, that's my friend's. I can take that somewhere. I'll make him take it away. It's my friend's. I don't even have the key to it. But it's safe out there. I mean, can I not leave that out there either?
It would appear someone's living there.
No, sir, I'm not living there because I don't have electricity, water, sewage. I don't have anything out there. It's hot as Hades in those places. I can't live there. I would like to live there, and I'd like to get a permit, but I don't want to live in the Airstreams. I just had those Airstreams, and I'm trying to get
What has stopped you from getting the permit?
just not having the architect and the builder, and I didn't know how to go about doing it without those two people to get me the permits. And I'm learning to do these processing. I'm truly being very honest. I know I sound stupid, but I'm not stupid. I just trying my hardest to get the builder and the architect, and I didn't realize I would take the chairs and the sofa away if you need me to do that, you know? I mean, I'm hopefully going to get this project going to build that house back there. And hopefully, I wanted to have it for tonight to show you the plans, but he said 3 weeks, Gary. So I can do whatever you want me to do with that. Do those have to go? Around that area is all area, but I mean, I don't care. I'm not going to complain about it. It's all trailers and RVs out there. And truly, I don't mind moving anything or doing anything to make this right. I want it to be pretty. I want a pretty house there. It has a lot to do with money too, because I'm trying to build on everything. And that's how I do things. I just build on things, and then I make things pretty, and I guess it's like a little playhouse out there. I don't know. I don't mind taking whatever I have to do.
Okay, okay. Well, let us talk about it amongst
Okay,
ourselves, okay, and we'll let you know what we think. So I'll close the public part of this hearing, and I accept her testimony into evidence, and I'll listen to suggestions from the board. If I hear none, I guess I'll make one.
Trying another one, next case.
Yeah, well, I know, but we've got to do with this one on the merits of this one, okay? So, well, nope, I'm afraid your time's up, and now it's our time. She's not going to get a permit in 12 days. That's
Not even
clear.
close.
Okay, and if we take her at her word and that, you know, do we give her enough time to see if she can get a building permit? Even if she gets the building permit, the trailers aren't going to be legal. So I guess the trailers have to go
So everything has to be cleared off the land.
in order to be able to get
Already
the
got
building
illegal
permit.
Then she has to get a building permit and
Good.
clear the land at the same time.
Maybe restoration involved.
Well, if she gets a building permit, the clearing permit's not going to be a problem.
Well, I think that probably we need to look at 45 days. In
Yeah,
order to-
I think it's premature to think she's going to show up with
Right,
everything.
if you give her
in
45 days and 3 weeks to get the final plans from the architect, and then the builder should be able to get a permit based on those. So,
it. And the trailers?
well, the trailers would have to go, sure.
Gotta go.
Unless we find them guilty, they're not gonna move them.
Say that again?
What is your time limit on getting the trailers off the property? Same?
Well, I'd give her the 45 days, I guess.
Why not- We have a lot of distractions, so I don't know what that is. We're not doing anything. It's, I don't know where that's coming from, so. Oh, okay, okay. Well, if you make it easy, you just give 45 days for everything to get the trailers off, to get the
And to
permit.
get a building permit.
Right,
And then everything goes away if she does that.
does all that,
If she
correct.
doesn't do that, then she's gonna be in big.
What's the fine level?
Well,
And
she
after that-
recommended $250 a day.
And that's what I
Times
recommend.
3, $750 a day. That's pretty strong
When does that start?
in 45 days.
But if we're still in this mess we're in, it wouldn't
Abated.
start until after that.
Well, the fine would start, but it'll be abated.
That's right. I have to agree with Gordon. I think we ought to give her 45 days and have the fine at $250 a day for all the
I agree.
things, and then
Make
other
that
than that,
motion.
and then, of course,
Okay.
removing the trailers and all that, make that one motion.
Okay, that is, have you thus made that
Yes,
motion?
I make that motion.
And does somebody thus?
I second it.
All right, then all those in favor, aye?
One point of
Wait.
clarification, that's 200, for her purposes, 250 a day total?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, so the motion passes, and the motion, and you need to know this, Ms. Roberts, on this matter, not the next one, but on this matter, you have 45 days to come up with a building permit or a restoration plan for having illegally cleared, and you need to remove the RVs. Okay? And now we'll go on to the next one, and I suspect, no, it's not gonna be Anna. Whoa, okay, 20002390.
Good evening, Board. My name's Carl Cross. I'm Code Enforcement Officer with Walton County. And I'd ask that you accept my presentation into the testimony for the record. This is case number 20002390. And it's parcel 132 South 214222000A 0180. Property owner is Angela Roberts as a co-trustee, along with Regions Bank as a co-trustee. The land use for this property is residential preservation, and the violation that I'm bringing before you today is clearing without permits. That's 1.13.09E. So this property is located on Turquoise Beach Drive, or Road. No, it's Drive, I'm sorry. And it is also located off of Mac Bayou Road. Actually, it's, the last property you were looking at, if you were on that road and go to the very end of it towards the bay and take a left, and this property is right on the bay. It's a small lot, you're already there. Code violation is 1.13.09E, land clearing and alteration, for all areas lying south of Chattahoochee Bay and within the South Walton planning area. Land clearing permits shall only be issued in conjunction with or as part of an application for a building permit. Less than minor or major revised September 2010, or September 10, 2019. Next slide. So we received the complaint on the 30th of March that there was clearing without a permit on this parcel. On the 31st of March, I conducted an initial inspection. There was visual evidence of recent use of excavation equipment on the property. A comparison of aerial photographs and the current condition revealed that, in my opinion, that there was about 50% of the property had been cleared. Remove vegetation, and you'll see in some of the photos that there's quite a big pile of debris that are still left on the property. The clearing extends from the street side of the parcel all the way to the water's edge, approximately 25 feet in width or thereabouts. And then to the right side of the property, there's clearing. I issued a stop work order on that date. And then on the next day, 4/1/2020, I prepared and sent the notice of violation to the property owner via certified mail with return receipt. On 5/5/2020, I conducted a re-inspection, and again, the delay for this was because of the COVID, and us being reassigned for that amount of time. The stop work order had been removed from the property. I also observed several kayaks and water activity items and a screen gazebo with multiple chairs set up on the property. 5/22/2020, I conducted a follow-up inspection, and there were no visible changes. Between 3/30 and today, I have received no reply or any attempts of communication from the property owner or any other party associated with the property. On 5/28, I prepared and mailed the notice of violation, or notice of hearing for today's hearing, and listed the tracking number, and the notice of hearing was also posted on the property and at the South Walton Annex. On 6/11, I again inspected the property. This inspection revealed all the water activity items and the cloth screen gazebo had been removed. Additionally, the notice of hearing that was posted on the property had been removed. I assume that meant that the property owner was aware. A pile of debris from the initial clearing is still located on the lot to the right of the gate. On 6/12, I received an email at Walton County Code Enforcement. Actually, I think it went to our administrative assistant initially. Received an email from Philip Cryer Marine Works, advising the property owner had contacted him to build the dock on the parcel, and he was looking for some clarification as to what he could do. On 6/15, Mr. Cryer also contacted us again, and I confirmed that he confirmed that he had already delivered materials, but I confirmed with him that the stop work order was still in place, and that he was not to do any work. He ceased the work, so he hasn't done anything. He just delivered the materials. They're there. On 6/18, it still received no direct communication from the property owner, and I have to correct that because I did get direct communication from her this afternoon when she came into the board. So that's not a true statement by the time I'm talking to you guys. But I also went back out and did a reinspection of the property, and you'll see the photos here. So the aerial conditions, the property conditions from an aerial photo, you can see here, it's a pretty well wooded lot. A lot of trees. It's a fairly small lot, but it's pretty well wooded. Next slide. In the photo on the left, you can see the chairs, and you can see where it was cleared out to where the chairs are sitting. And this is kind of from the right side of the gate to the property. So I got a couple of better pictures to show you the clearing, but then you can also see the debris. I highlighted that for you. Here's the posting or the stop work order, and you can see where it's well cleared right down to the water from the gate. That was on 3/31. Photos of the notice of violation and the mailings. The notice of hearing. The notice of hearing mailing and tracking. Notice of hearing posted at the property. And you can see a lot better in this photo where the clearing is, and you can see the gazebo. It almost looks like it's camouflage back in there, but it's kind of a tan color. To the right-hand side of the picture, on the right-hand picture. Like one of those screen mosquito net gazebos set up back there. The notice of hearing was posted at South Walton Annex. And these are my return receipts from the notice of hearing mailing. And then the property conditions on 6/12. Again, you can see the clearing on the two photos on the right, and you can see the large pile of debris on the left, and then the ones on the right, you can see the large pile of debris is still existing. Couple more pictures from this. These are from actually this morning. The clearing debris that was taken from just inside the neighboring property. Looking into this property. This property was posted with a no trespassing sign, so I adhered to what I needed to do and not get on their property. The other photo on the right-hand side shows the clearing and the lumber that was delivered for the dock building. And the last two photos, again, just more of the condition of the property. What I would ask, is the board finds that Lot 18, Block A, Turquoise Beach, Santa Rosa Beach, Florida, parcel 132 South, 214222000 Alpha, or A, 0180 is located within the unincorporated area of Walton County, is subject to Chapter 7 of the Walton County Land Development Code. Please find that the violation of Walton County Land Development Code 1.13.09E does exist on the property. Please find that proper notice of the hearing was given to the respondent, and the respondent is to correct the violation within 12 days of this date. The respondent is further ordered to contact the Walton County Code Enforcement Department to provide evidence of submittal of required permits or application for required permits in compliance with this order before any work is allowed to continue on the property. That if the respondent fails to comply with the above action or fails to bring the property in compliance with applicable codes and ordinance and regulations according to this order, the board assess a fine of $250 a day until the property is brought into compliance. The board have any questions for me?
I do.
Yes, Victor?
In your research, did you see if they'd applied for a dock permit through DEP for the state?
Mr. Cryer did apply for, he did do a self-certification for the permit for the dock.
So he did get a permit from
He
the
did
state?
get a permit for that.
But he hasn't gone to the county to get a permit?
Based on the information and education that I've gotten about the dock permit, he is not required a permit for the dock if it's less than 1,000 square feet.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Now, the other question is, you made a big deal out of the mosquito net and the chairs and stuff. What's the issue there?
Well, it just shows use of the property. There's a reason they cleared the property so they could
Well,
use it.
setting aside that, there's no issue in terms of a violation with setting up mosquito
No,
plants and chairs?
no.
Okay, I just want to make sure that was not part of the deal.
But I just wanted to make sure you understood there was activity continually going on the property. People going to the property and those notices, the stop work order, somebody had to see that.
And you were not able to get within 50 feet of the water line to check to find out if they've done clearing all the way to the water line?
You can see visibly that it's cleared all the way to the water line.
Okay, so there's a preservation problem there without a permit. Okay.
Any other questions for Officer Cross? Okay.
I'd ask that you accept my testimony and my PowerPoint into evidence.
I do. Thank you. Okay, Ms. Roberts, you want to talk to us about this? You're not obligated to, but you can if you want to. But once I close the public part of the hearing, you've lost your opportunity. Step up here, would you?
Tom, I'd like to make one other comment
Yeah.
too about the recommendation. Come on up, I'm sorry, I don't want to. There's still a 50-foot issue there. That's another issue with clearing at the
I
water line.
haven't cleared
Yeah,
to the water.
But
I
wait.
haven't.
He didn't, that's not why we're here. There may be another violation, but we're not aware of it.
Okay, all right.
I didn't clear to the water. It was just moving the debris around. We were using it during the COVID and we were scared of snakes, to tell you the honest truth. And that's the pop-up tent.
Who cleared the property, though?
We just took a little truck and moved it around.
Little truck?
Yeah, a little, a tractor thing. We rented a
Tractor or a truck?
No, a truck. Okay. I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Well, tell me what you don't agree with.
I've called up there a lot and I've left messages and I don't know how to go about getting permits and I'm trying to learn this process. And the guy that's building the dock has 3 permits. He has engineering for the.
Right, there's no problem with the dock.
Okay,
there's no
So
problem.
what do I need to ask?
But what you can't do is you can't clear a lot without a permit. It's the
Well,
same problem you had on the other one.
The thing is, I didn't, whatever. I just didn't never had this problem, so I didn't know. I just
Well, you know
was-
that one about ignorance?
I know it's
is-
ignorance, and I'm not
Yeah.
trying to be ignorant, so that's why I don't know what to say to you. It's not clear to the water, I promise you. You can come, I will let you come, you can come look at it. We just.
Well, again,
moved it.
that's not a problem,
But
right?
anyway, I'd like to,
Yeah.
please, sir, I don't mean to interrupt you. I'd like to have someone speak for me later, if you will, please, because, I don't know. I didn't know I was doing anything wrong, and I didn't. I just don't know what to say, because there's a lot of things I want to say, but I can't. So, and I've called, I've left messages. I've talked to, I can tell you everybody's name over here. I've talked to him personally, so, I don't understand why they said I haven't been calling. So I finally went and got a representative to help me, because I don't know what I'm doing.
And who, did you get an engineer or what?
I have someone that's speaking for me. That's what he told me. He could not be here tonight, and he could help me speak for
And
me.
what's his credential, that individual?
He's just representing me. He's an attorney for real estate, and he can help me get permits. He can help me understand what you all need, and because I really want to do the right thing by you. I'm not trying, it seems like, I don't know, I don't want to say too much either. I just want to do the right thing.
Okay, look,
That's
at
what
this
I wanna
point,
do.
let it go.
Okay.
We'll
Thank
discuss
you,
it
sir.
and try to figure out.
I don't mean to be stupid here. I just never have done this before. And
Okay.
I just went and decorated this
Stop
stuff
shoveling.
up.
Stop shoveling.
Okay, I promise I won't.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'll accept Ms. Roberts' testimony into evidence. I'll close the public part of the hearing. And gentlemen, got a solution for this one?
Can you live on?
How many what?
Live on.
What do you mean?
Aren't these different addresses? The last place she has, now this one's on the bay? Aren't these different parcels?
Yeah. She didn't live on either one.
You developer?
No, I think she's, who knows? No, you're done. Don't keep shoveling.
Well, we
Yeah.
could table this for 30 days.
That's what I thought when I looked
Have
up
her,
at you.
if she wants somebody to have the representative to come help
And I'd
her.
feel a lot better about that than,
How are we gonna resolve the, getting to see if the restoration has been cleared in the back 50 feet?
Well, I think-
Again, that's not a violation. That's, if somebody wants to file that complaint, or they're welcome to do it. But it's not before us at this point.
Just, the MAC would have to clarify, is the county involved in the 50-foot setback on the bay?
Sure.
But again, nobody's,
We
that's
don't know
not
if it
here.
exists.
That's not part of the.
Yeah. Okay.
I've seen these pictures. We'll put the violation under my name if we need to. But she's in violation of clearing the 50-foot shoreline buffer.
Well, then why isn't it alleged violation, whatever?
That's not up to.
I think it's clearing without permits is what,
Okay, so that
that will include what we need, yes.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
We
All
got
right.
cost invested.
Well, then,
into this.
okay, but it still really doesn't matter the decision that we're about to make, right? Are we gonna let her get away with what she's done so far and give her 30 days to get her representative to come speak to us?
Too many
or
lots.
Is there going to be a
Too
penalty
much.
after that 30 days if she doesn't get her,
It's up to us.
You're gonna, what I hear you saying, let me intervene, is that you're gonna do a continuance to the next board meeting.
Yep.
If one does not occur next month due to unforeseen circumstances, you don't necessarily want to put 30 days on it because she has no way of complying.
So we could just say we'll continue it till the next
Next
board hearing. And but, look, I'm not one vindictive, you ought to know that about me, but it seems to me that there's some responsibility
Yeah,
that you got to
a little bit.
Okay, so to just say, hey, okay, we'll let it go 30 days, strikes me as a little bit.
It's too, no, you got to
can
live
we,
clearing.
can we accept the officer's recommendations, except extend it to 30 days from the 12? Would that cover it?
Well, they recommended $250 a day after 12 days.
Yeah, but
So
do
we
it
could
after
say
30.
$250 a day after the 30 days, but then what
after
Renee
the-
said is,
after-
what if there's no meeting?
Right.
Then,
They could then appeal for a reduction, and it's probably still gonna be under the abate.
Right,
anyway.
it'll still be, there won't be a real fine, because there will be a fine, but it'll be abated.
So the motion would read what?
You tell me.
You know, I can make a motion that I accept the
Let me-
officer's
let me add-
recommendations with 30 days.
I need clarification.
Yeah.
The only way to clean up the Bay issue is to pull a permit to build. He's already, from
Well,
what the
even-
officer
even-
said, cleared illegally.
Even then, John, I don't know.
But then she's ordered another permit to build on the last case we just ruled on. Now, how many houses you gonna build?
Well, she either has to build or she has to do a restoration plan.
Restoration.
So she could do the restoration
Did
plan.
we word that into it, into the motion?
No, we just have to say that she needs to come into compliance.
Right. And one way or the other.
This is
Think
not,
Mac-
this
Yeah,
is not a
Mac.
case of one lot owner. This is past one lot owner here.
Can I make a recommendation? It's unlikely she will be building multiple houses at one time. One of them could possibly be resolved with a restoration plan that's incorporated into her building permit review,
Right.
and it could be accomplished at that time. I would suggest you order a restoration plan to be applied for within 30 days on the other one, on this one that's before you now. I'm not sure what some representative can come tell you that we can't see from the pictures.
Right.
I mean, the violation's been clearly established.
Right.
Right.
Done.
And so your
My
recommendation is
recommendation is direct her to file a restoration plan
within 30 days.
within 30 days. Doesn't mean she has to complete it within 30 days, but just make the application.
And then she needs to get somebody
And
to.
move forward in good faith to complete it.
Okay, so she
Okay.
needs to get a landscaper or whatever it takes to get in compliance.
Thanks, Mac. That's,
Yeah.
appreciate that. Yeah.
All right, so
Go with
want to
that.
make that motion? Again, you're done now.
I'll make the recommendation that she file for a restoration permit within 30 days. And if she has not completed that within 30 days, that the officer's recommendation would be accepted. If, I'm not sure how to say that, but
Fine.
the fine, the $250 a day would start after that.
I second that.
Wait, let Renee clarify.
Mr. Schneider had a motion on the floor. Did it fail for a
Oh,
second,
I'm
Mr.
sorry.
Chairman?
What was the motion?
His motion was $250 a day, 30 days to
Oh,
comply.
sorry about
To accept it, that's all right. I
Yeah.
can withdraw that
You can
motion.
withdraw.
I withdraw that.
Mr. Bowman and Mr. Harrison.
Would you restate, Renee, would you restate Victor's motion?
Sure. Cut it down
That's a
into a summary.
mouthful.
My understanding, she has 30 days to file for a restoration plan permit, and she does not have to have it started by then, but 30 days to file for the permit with all documentation included. After that 30 days, then a violation of, or fine of $250 a day will begin
Correct.
until she complies.
Okay, you'll second it?
I second it.
And of course, with all the other implements of the officer's recommendation that she has to contact the Code Enforcement Board for reinspection.
Right, once she comes into compliance. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, Ms. Roberts, you get this one? You got 30 days to come up with a writ, to put it back like it needs to be.
I can do that in a week.
Good. Find a good, responsible landscaper. and-
No,
Yeah,
she needs to file her restoration plan permit for a permit first before she does anything.
before she actually works.
Yeah, I
But she
believe
needs
so.
to
Is
get
that right, Mac?
someone
She's got
to,
to have it done correctly. The plan, is it your department?
Okay. So I go to the planning department. How long does that take? Okay. I'm not trying to be difficult, I promise you. I'm gonna make this pretty, I promise you. I don't need a lot of help. That's why I'm
Please
here.
explain that to me.
Yeah, okay. I'm trying my hardest. to
okay,
find-
Ms. Roberts.
Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. You can go if you want. You don't need to stay for the rest. Yep.
Next case.
Okay, we'll move on to number 9 out of 10. We're getting there. 19-007-745.
Written this one. Cross, Officer Cross.
Good evening. For the record, my name's Charles Cronin, Walton County Code Enforcement Officer. This is Code Enforcement Case number 19-007-745. Property owners Martinez, Ryan, and Victoria. Parcel number as shown. On October 22nd, 2019, a complaint was received by the Walton County Code Enforcement Office concerning junk and litter at 205 Mallet Beach Drive, which is located in the unincorporated area of Walton County. Slide 2, please. October 22nd, 2019, I conducted an initial site inspection and determined that the parcel was in violation of the Walton County Land Development Code 70201A1, junk and litter prohibited conditions. Slide 3, please. During the initial inspection, I attempted to make contact with the property owner at the front door of the residence. There was no response. A notice of violation was posted on the front door. Photo depicts refrigerator, open containers, used tire, wood-framed mirror, carpet remnants, etc. On November 7th, 2019, property owner Ryan Martinez called by telephone and we discussed the violations. On December 9th, 2019, I met on site with Mr. Martinez. We discussed the violations while he and another were cleaning some junk and debris from the residence. Slide 4, please. On December 30th, 2019, Mr. Martinez said that his wife was involved in an automobile accident. He had parts ordered for repair of the vehicle. Backyard photo dated January 9th, 2020 shows automobile and a truck along with a boat, ATV, and a utility trailer. Slide 5.
In the distance there, is that what we're looking at?
Yeah, that's from a distance.
Okay.
An RV type thing and
Okay.
a utility trailer. Slide 5, please. On January 14th, 2020, at his home, Mr. Martinez and I read section 70201A1 regarding junk and litter. Photo dated March 31st, 2020 shows wash machine, light standard, portions of vehicles, one covered with tarps, etc. Slide 6, please. On March 18th, 2020, a notice of violation was sent by certified mail to the property owner of record according to the Walton County Appraiser's website. On March 26, 2020, the signature card for their notice of violation was returned from the Postal Service signed by R. Martinez. Slide 7, please. On May 19, 2020, after returning to regular duties due to the COVID-19, an inspection showed no progress being made. A notice of hearing was sent by certified mail to the property owner of record according to the Walton County Appraiser's website. On June 1, 2020, the signature card for the notice of hearing was returned from the Postal Service signed by R. Martinez. Slide 8, please. As you can see, this is the current conditions at 205 Mallet Beach Drive. Any questions before I proceed with my recommendations?
It's difficult to tell from the pictures, but tell us what's different, if anything.
Not much different. There's a few vehicles removed from here. These have been backed up to the fence, and the wash machine's gone, and there's a little bit more junk and debris there.
So some improvement, but not enough.
Yes.
Are the vehicles tagged?
They, from what I could tell, in past inspections, no. Any more questions?
Are there three non-running vehicles? Is that what I see?
There was possibly 3 at one time. I think there was a blue Dodge Ram. The accident, from what I understand, was involved with one of these Dodge trucks, and the other 2 were bought to use parts. To kind of change parts between the 2 to make one vehicle. And I'm assuming this is the case. I'm not absolutely certain.
So the junk still remain in the back?
Everything in the back remains exactly the same, except the weeds have grown up.
Okay.
And again, that picture, the neighbors have built privacy fences around the side, so I couldn't get that side view. So that's actually from about 2 blocks away. Any more questions before my recommendations? My recommendations are that, number 1, the property located at 205 Mallet Beach Drive, 32439, is located within the unincorporated area of Walton County and is subject to the Walton County Code of Ordinances. 2, proper notice of hearing was given to the respondent. 3, violation of section 70201A1 does exist on the property. 4, the respondent is to correct the violations within 30 days of the date of this order. The respondent is further ordered to contact the Walton County Code Enforcement Department to arrange for a reinspection of subject property to verify compliance with this order. 5, that if the respondent fails to comply with the above actions or fails to bring the property into compliance with the applicable codes, ordinance, and regulations according to this order, the board assess a fine of $250 a day until the property is brought into compliance. Please accept my presentation and testimony as evidence.
I accept it into evidence. And are there any further questions for Officer Cronin? No? Okay. Is there someone here to speak for Ryan and Victoria Martinez? You walked in late, right? You never got sworn in? Would you do it now?
Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth before this board in this matter? Thank you.
Okay.
State your name for the record, please.
Ryan Martinez. As you showed the trucks and everything there, I did buy them trucks. My wife did wreck her truck. We were in the process of cleaning up the yard whenever she did wreck it. So I did bought those, and I rebuilt the entire truck by myself, so I did restore it. Both them 2 trucks sitting on the side, they both run. The gray one with the yellow hood on it, that's the one that she wrecked. I totally restored that. I'm still in the process of putting everything back. I'm painting it, everything. That's what the shop is in the front, the carport. The tarps are on there just because to block all the wind and everything. I mean, I don't know. I can't have a carport in my front yard, be covered up. All the other stuff has been picked up. I mean, just because that does look, on the picture he took, it looks bad, but it is all cleaned up. I mean, there is a little bit of pile of junk still right there in the front yard that we are still cleaning, but I'm rebuilding the entire truck by myself. I've done everything, restored it from the frame all the way back up, so it does take a process to do that. I did tell him that.
What about the backyard?
The backyard, the car in the backyard, we just don't use it. It is tagged and registered. The other truck that's back there, I had that truck since I was 16 years old. I brought it from New Mexico when I moved down here, so it's an antique truck that's in the process of getting restored. It's just, I'm not a millionaire yet, so I don't got the money to do that. The old truck? No, it's not. That one's not tagged at all. It was at one time, but since I moved down here before I moved down here, I left my truck back there with my parents. When they moved up here, they brought the truck with me, so it hasn't been tagged since it got here. Okay, I mean, that ain't a big deal. I get antique tag for it. It don't cost. Yeah, it's an old 70 GMC, so I mean, I ain't gonna get rid of that. But the other car in the backyard is tagged. The gray truck with the yellow hood, I can't get that tagged yet. I still got to finish up the restoration, then I got to take it to Panama City to do a inspection on it because it was crashed, and they got to do some kind of inspection. They said I got to take it in for. And then the red truck, I mean, everything runs on it. It's not tagged. But I went to go get all of them tagged, and it's like over $1,500 for me to have my vehicles tagged. Like, that's just with the lowest possible insurance. I mean, that's just impossible to pay for all that. I mean, I did try to lower all my insurance to do liability for my bike, my Jeep, and then to have both those trucks tagged, and it was like $1,500 is what they quoted me. I mean, it's just not possible to do.
According to code, you're gonna have to do something like that or move them.
I mean, I can't have my own vehicles parked in my yard. I mean, it's not, they're running vehicles. I mean, they're not junk just sitting there. I understand like we having old cars parked, but I mean, I don't understand why. I can't, my property I pay taxes on it, and we're in private neighborhood, which the county won't take care of our roads over there, but yet they'll come and tell me I can't have my own vehicles parked in my yard. I don't understand that. I mean.
I don't agree with them either a lot of times.
Yeah, I mean, I still feel that the violation itself is, that's where I'm at on this. Where he told me all the junk vehicles there, and I asked him, I'm like, all right, what violation am I doing? He's like, well, the old truck you have parked there could be leaking oil. I'm like, no, it's not. I said, if you can prove to me it's leaking oil, I'll fix that issue, which he couldn't do that. All the other 2 trucks, like I said, we're getting in parts for rebuilding the other 2, which I did get all them running. It's just the fact that, I mean, I just don't got the money to register all of them, and, because it is expensive. Insurance has gone up. I don't. The rest of the stuff will be cleared out of there. I mean, I did cut the grass, the backyard. I haven't got to the backyard to cut that grass, but all the front yard's all taken care of. Because that was the one thing I couldn't argue with him about. I mean, grass was getting tall. And it's just me by myself, and I rebuilt that truck alone. So it does take a process, and time to do it. I don't know what else you guys needed.
Got any questions from Mr. Martinez? Comments? Hearing none, I'll close the public part of the hearing.
I've
Yeah.
got a clarification. I need to understand from code officer or from Mac, what is the violation? Is junk and debris, or is it vehicles, or is it boats and vehicles in the backyard? So in order to come in compliance, he would have to.
Inside from both sides of the house, and the front of the house will have to be removed.
So in the front of the house, he has to do what?
Oh, that's gone. That ain't even there. That's old pictures. That's old pictures and.
Let the officer speak, please.
Yeah, there is junk and debris to the left between the house and the tarps there. At 1 o'clock today, when I was by there, there's junk there.
So the two trucks in the front.
Yeah, two trucks in the front.
And two trucks in the back.
A truck, a car, and a boat, a utility trailer, and an ATV vehicle. John Deere side by side.
Okay, so in
Right.
order for him to come in compliance, all those would have to be moved off the property? Let him finish.
I failed to see a license plate or a tag on the car, and the truck, like he said, does not run.
The John Deere doesn't need a tag, right?
Is it a running John Deere?
It would make any difference.
Nothing's been moved in 6 months since I first put it.
What do the other homes look like around that? I mean, are there other homes in close proximity?
Oh, yes.
The whole
So they're reflecting the
70%.
value? It would decrease the value of the other homes with that junk in the front of his house.
There are several that look similar to that.
Okay.
It's not unique to that home.
Somebody had it out, somebody filed the complaint.
Yeah, those are ones right next to us. The realtor is the one that filed the complaint. But the house still sold, and they still got over 200,000 for it, so, I mean. And the other thing is too, I got boats, according, I know the things that Florida law says, I can have any kind of boat I want in my yard, and there's not really.
Can't have a trailer without a license, but can you have a
trailers
boat?
The trailer's licensed, the utility trailer has a license plate, and my,
Can you have a licensed boat in your backyard?
Watercraft.
both my jet skis.
Yeah.
Kayaks, there's all of the above there on his yard.
Yeah, Officer Rose.
I have dealt with this before, and according to the sheriff's office, once the trailer goes on private property, if the tag expires or the tag is gone, there's nothing that they can do about it to require that tag to be on it. It's only until it hits the roadway. It's
But
different.
you can leave a boat and an expired trailer on your property.
Technically, yes, there's no Florida law that says you can. It only applies to motor vehicles where they have that, you have to have it registered within 15 days of the time you move, yada, yada, yada.
Right, let me say something, it's probably out of order, but look, you get the picture. The neighbors are pissed off, right? If you could do something to calm the neighbors down, it makes a lot of this a whole lot easier, okay? We don't want to sit here and tell you, you can have the John Deere, but you can't have the GMC, or we can, okay? But, if you were to address the junk and debris and keep the yard looking as neat as you could, you'd run into a lot less
Yeah, well, I
complaint.
understand that. Like I said, it was a realtor that did it, but the house still sold. And like I said, if you looked at the vehicles when he showed it, I have them all in the backyard. They're all lined up. They're not just everywhere. Everything has been cleaned up.
Okay, but you hear what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, but the other thing, I just can't afford to have them all registered right at this moment.
I get that. But, we're here, we don't have a lot of latitude. If
Yeah.
the law says this, we're the code enforcement board. Unless you got some good excuse that, circumvents the law, you got to follow the law,
Okay,
whether
so
we
if-
agree with it or not.
So if they're out of sight, there's nothing you could, I mean, that's, because
That's-
I've been told before, whenever we had, because I
I
had an
know,
issue
but the
before.
problem is, once we know that they're not licensed, then we can't forget that.
So they're not put in the shed, or in the shop, or something like that, so they're out of,
If you
they're in
got,
a building?
is it not correct that you can't have an unlicensed vehicle in this residential use?
completely. I mean, even if it's in a shop or a garage. So it's garage kept, it still has to be.
I
registered.
suppose you could put it in the garage and nobody know.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I could build the shop on the side and have them put up.
Yeah, if you build if you can get a permit to build a garage, I guess.
But yeah, that's not necessarily just that's not necessarily just Walton County Code, that's Florida law on vehicle registration. Anytime you own, transfer a vehicle, you are supposed to get that vehicle registered in your name so that you show ownership of it.
Yeah, well,
That's just Florida law. So by not having those vehicles registered and sitting in the front yard with no tags, no registration, et cetera, that's ultimately where that comes from. It's not necessarily just Walton County Code. That's why we have that code, is because it also reflects what Florida statute requires.
Yeah, I'll go get them registered and everything, get them to transfer my name. But like I said, the other truck, until I could get it to Panama City to get an inspection done on it.
Well, why don't you rent some space somewhere if you could? See if you can't find a place to put them,
Yeah,
where
and
it's
we're in the
legal.
process of moving out of that place anyway, so, it hasn't been on the market yet, but we're.
Well, you understand, look, we're gonna make you comply with the law.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
Okay.
I'm just.
So, avoid confrontation with us to the extent that you can.
Yeah.
Move the unlicensed vehicles off the property, clean up the place, and you're gonna have a lot less to deal with us.
Yeah, like I said, it is cleaned up compared to, I mean, yeah, that's what I was trying to get at. The pictures he took are not showing justice for what has been done at the property.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna accept his testimony into evidence, close the public part of the hearing. There's no one else here to speak on the matter, is there? Okay, then, gentlemen, what's
Did the motion include a time frame? I don't.
30 days? 30 days or $250 a day.
Oh, there it is. I see it. Thank you. Make a motion, we accept the officer's recommendation.
I'll second that.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. The motion carries. You got 30 days to come into compliance. However you can do that with Officer Cronin, that's what you need to do. Okay, we got one to go, and we're gonna go right to it. Case number 19-006946.
Mr. Porter, did you second that? And I believe,
Mr. Harrison did.
And also, we had a second from, Mr. Wilson as well.
We'll give it to Mr. Wilson. We don't want him to sit here without
There
having
you
some
go.
input in
That's
this,
it.
okay?
It's so nice, Tom.
I'm here.
Yep.
I can hear you.
Well, we're gonna take a 2-minute break. We've lost a member.
Butler, Walton County Code Enforcement. I'm presenting case number 10, the last one of the evening. This should be a fairly easy one. Case number is 19-006946. Parcel ID is 272 South 20-33500-000-0230. This is on Pepper Tree Road. The property owners are Harry and Andrea Mandel. They live at 292 Magnolia Creek Road, Santa Rosa Beach. The future land use is residential and the zoning is residential preservation. The two violations we're addressing this evening are accessory structures, 2.02.00B1A and 2.0211G1 residential preservation. The property is located on North 393. It's on the west side. You can see it here.
Was there, other one was there, Pepper Tree Road. We started out at Pepper Tree Road. Case number 1.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. This, I believe, is a connected similar. Code violations. 2.02.00B1A, general standards and requirements for accessory structures. This states that there shall be a permitted principal development on the parcel located in full compliance with all standards and requirements of this code. There's accessory structures on the property without a primary structure. 2.02.11 G1, residential preservation states non-residential uses are not allowed in this district. Basically, they're running a landscape company off of a vacant lot. I have my whole timeline here. I would say that this case, he brought the property into compliance. It's cleaned up as of today. I do want to get it on record that it was a violation. I think maybe we could just skip to go through the inspection pictures and show you the progress that was made, and then make my recommendation at the end, if that's fine with you.
Works for me.
Sure.
You want to go to, okay. So this inspection, initial inspection was September 25th of 19. You can see there's some palm trees leaned up against the fence there. And in the background, lean-to, portable shed, canopy there. Next slide, please. Another angle, you can see there's piles of mulch. There's some attachments for probably a tractor or something, a utility trailer there. Next slide. There's a pickup truck, as there's a box trailer with a logo on it for Blue Green. Next. I sent a notice of violation on October the 8th, 2019. This is a copy of that. I did talk with the property owner. He said he was going to bring it into compliance. He was working on getting everything cleaned up. I re-inspected on November the 6th. You can see it from this picture. The piles of mulch are gone. The palm trees were gone. Some of the property had been cleaned up a little bit. Next. From the next picture, you can see the lean-to. The top of the lean-to has been removed. He's working on getting that taken down.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Who cleared the property in the first place?
The initial complaint was clearing the property without permits, but when I went back on the property appraiser's website, all the way back to 2013, it showed the property was cleared. So I didn't feel that I could prove who did it and when they did it.
And he bought it after 2013?
I didn't look up when he bought the property, but
Okay.
the code changed, I believe in 2018, requiring permits for south of the bay. And the property appraisers established that was done prior to that change. So
Okay,
I didn't
thanks.
address that. Next slide. So a little better slide, you can see the top of the lean-to is gone. Next, please. January 23rd, 2020. Still a lot of stuff on the property. I did speak to him. He told me he was going to remove the shed. So my next inspection on February the 12th shows the shed on a trailer getting ready to be moved. March 3rd, the shed was completely removed, and the only thing left of the lean-to was the post. Still trailers and stuff on there. Okay. Next slide, 3/24/20. Still equipment on the property. This is when we went into the COVID, so I didn't get out to do an inspection. My next inspection was 5/5/2020. Still equipment on the property. To the next one. 6/2, I sent a notice of the hearing for tonight. Got delivery confirmation on 6/8. Reinspection this morning. This is looking back towards the property, towards the road. Next, that's from the roadway. You can see everything's gone. It's completely been removed. Any questions at this point?
I was getting my bedtime.
All right, we accept your testimony and presentation into evidence.
Yes, sir. I'd like to make my recommendation.
Yeah, go ahead. Not in a hurry, don't worry.
Please find that the property located on Pepper Tree Road with a tax ID of 272S20033500000230 is located in an unincorporated area of Walton County and is subject to Chapter 7 of the Walton County Land Development Code. Please find that the violations of Section 2.02.00B1A and Section 2.02.11G1 of the Walton County Land Development Code did exist on this property. Please find that proper notice of the hearing was given to the respondent. Please find that the respondent has corrected all violations on the property. And please find that this case shall be closed with a disposition of voluntary compliance. At this time, I would ask to set my testimony and presentation to evidence.
I wouldn't necessarily call that voluntary compliance. I would think that that was, compulsory compliance.
If we take care of it, it's abatement. If they take care of it, it's voluntary compliance. If we have to fine them, then it goes into something else.
Oh, you're mean.
Well, all right, if we close this out and they come back and have another violation on the same property, would that be a repeat offense?
That is exactly why I brought it to the code board this evening. We get this on the record that it was a violation. It was found in violation by the code board. If it goes back to going back to the business and putting more stuff on there, then it is a secondary repeat complaint, repeat violation, which is subject to those terms, which is a larger fine, I believe $500 a day.
Right. I wondered why you brought it. Okay. So I'll accept, unless there are more questions. Are there more questions for the officer? Okay, hearing none. Is there anyone here to speak for Harry Mandel? Or on the matter? Okay, the public part is closed. A motion, please,
I move that we accept the officer's recommendations.
which comes in, he's in compliance. There's no fine, right?
But he was in violation.
He was in violation and the violation has been removed.
I second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now I'll listen to one more motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Hey, guys, y'all are doing a great job on all
We
these
are adjourned.
presentations.